I just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass! Oh, I just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass! just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass!
Future kingdom, because it's time to destroy Equestria.
Times. Earth Pony.
Rogar's bell. This artifact.
Once more.
Going to ruin it with this artifact.
Gets back. Our pact stands. What we do.
I have returned.
Testing.
There it goes.
Alright.
It was always plugged in before, so that's what was weird.
You must have moved it around or something. You must have moved it around or something.
I don't think so.
How to get unplugged?
It did have an audio issue earlier where my sound card wasn't working, but that was something else where I put in the new RAM, and when I put in the new RAM, I think I jostled something, and and it worked.
By the way, hello, person. I can't read your name because my eyes are shot, but... Oh, wonderful.
That's way too big.
No, I could actually read it, though.
Hold on, we'll adjust so that you can get slightly bigger text.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's much better.
Can you read that? How about that?
No, like I said,
How about that one?
Definitely not. You can't read that.
No, I can read it.
Which?
Size 2 font.
I would just call you doggy.
Okay, so this is the 5.1. So the 5.1 has an interesting thing about it where if the 5.1 audio puts the talking all through the center channel, which is what this is. So if I do solo on this, it'll still do some of the sound effects, but all the background music and everything is gone.
That's handy.
That is what
Oh, you're using Audacity? That's what it's called.
Audacity?
Audacity, yeah.
No, I used to get all my audio from this place, which is MLP TF2 mods, which would have the audio with that separated, but then they stopped doing it because it just was a lot of work after season 5. But they told you how to do it. But you have to get the 5.1 audio encoded version, which is normally what you get out of like the Apple Store or Google. Well, I have the Google version purchased, but they don't have an offline downloadable, so I can't actually get the file. So I found somewhere else online that I could download the file, and then I had to get an extension for Audacity. I forgot what it was called. FFmpeg, and I had to put that in there, and then it allowed it to load the MKV file, and when you open up that, then it extracts the separate audio channels. So yeah, but the nice thing is because the audio is in its own channel, if I mute that channel, it's all background.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah. Well, it comes in handy. There's still sound effects that are over the voices, but that's, to me, mostly fine. So, for what I need anyway. Because if I'm going to interrupt him, I want to have the audio separate. So for this, I'm going to take this audio. So this is it. And I think I need this in 44. I swear this is going to piss me off that I can never remember. I'm pretty sure that that's SFM's. Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep the font big because I'm blind. But this weekend I'm going to get my eyes looked at.
Did you set up an appointment?
No.
He's going to walk into someplace and...
That was the hope.
I got really lucky when I did that at the place I went to. Well, I went to a nicer place, but they happened to have an opening the moment I walked in the door. It said, well, if you want to like start now. I'm like, oh, okay. Kyle had to set up an appointment a couple weeks at a time for that place anyway.
I'll just go to does Target have a place?
I don't know about eye exams. And again, you might want to call just to verify if they need an appointment or not.
Get my eye exam at the same time I'm picking up a sandwich. That's the best way to do it. Somewhere you can do both at the same time.
Yeah. I also got a vasectomy.
It's a fun trip.
Uh-huh. Okay, so this is MLP Season 9, Episode 24. Let's call it background. The tracks will be mixed down and exported as one mono file. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Mono, though?
Yeah, am I able to... Because I don't know which is which. Like... Because you would think if it was left and right, they'd be pretty balanced, which these are. Can't solo two of them. Okay, this kind of. Yeah, because these are all mono channels. So I know for the pony that's going to be mono for sure, so I'm just going to do that one right now. Okay, and then to get the rest of it, so is this left, right, left, right?
Where's that blip?
I don't know.
Go flip.
Bass. It was just a whoa. So
The sound of the bell, maybe.
So yeah, I don't need this. No, it's a crashing sound.
Crash, crash.
So yeah, I don't actually need this. So we're just gonna get rid of that one. So I'm guessing left, right, left, right. But why would this one be so much louder? They sound almost identical.
Look who it is.
Oh, why isn't Derby burning? Hold on.
No! No, see?
There we go. It's back.
I don't like you anymore, Blurred Blah. If we meet, I will give you a stern look. Prepare for the sternness. No, don't thank him. He's doing horrible things.
Yeah, so how do I... Even if I did this, these are still mono channels. Can I force this to be... Like... Oh.
Can't you just merge the two?
Aha! No, it didn't work. Wait! Maybe. Ooh. Okay, I think I did something wrong there. So it allowed me to split this, make stereo, but it looked like it just destroyed the one below it. Oh, I'm hitting Control X. There we go. I don't want it doing that. Oh wait, can I just do copy, make stereo, split stereo track. Well, let me do that. Because I don't think I can recover this, but this doesn't sound like it's really needed. Yeah. This sounds like back speaker. Wait, that kind of had like happy music with it. What's going on with that?
Why is your headset plugged into the back of the computer?
Because in the front, then it just was hanging in the way and too much cord.
Ah.
Plus, if I go around to the front, it's easier instead of having it yanked and pulled at an angle. So I just left it that way. I used to have the hook over here for it, but if I ran it all the way around into the extension, then if I went to the couch, it would be difficult again. So
I was just thinking if I plugged in too, maybe I could hear.
No. Because it doesn't come out both ports.
But I have a splitter.
No. You don't need to hear.
After all this time.
I do not know Audacity well enough as to, like, how do I make do? Yeah.
You stay deaf. Funny. You're such a jerk. I'm finding as much entertainment as I can looking at these waves, but actually hearing them.
Well, I'm not even hearing them really either. Every now and then I just check to see what's in it, but besides that, so that doesn't work. So go make stereo, and it goes and destroys my thing.
Ding.
Well, if I could copy, oh, I wonder if I can do this.
There must be some way to do it.
I'm
checking.
checking.
I feel.
I'm seeing if this will do it.
Google it. Where the blog says.
I'm not gonna do that now. I can work with it as it is. But this doesn't look the same. Actually, you know what? I'm thinking this is correct. Because this isn't identical. It's exactly as it was the other one. I think that actually is set right. Yeah, that sounds right. Let's see, if I export this then. Export wave. MLP background. Okay, it says it'll save it as stereo, so
Wunderbar.
let's hope. It will crash because I do not have stuff. So this is, I'm gonna put music up here, but I'm gonna rename it. Okay, open, save. Okay, that's a little bit more than I needed. Now let's see if it works.
Oh, way ahead of you, Grogar.
I was like, wait, the bell sound was in the wrong spot. That was the bell sound I put in. I was like confused. Okay, there. Okay, so I think I need a little bit more Grogar time. Oh, wait, I can probably cut it to there.
You had it all this time? Why didn't you? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell? Why didn't you tell?
Okay, let me bring this down.
He's using show audio like this, you know exactly how long your video is going to be. When using the audio like this, you know exactly how long your video is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also know how fast it'll be copyright strike. No, it won't be. It has to have more than a certain amount of time.
I feel like Hasbro's not as bad about it as some people put on. I think if you blatantly throw it in Hasbro's face, like, well, look, I made this, they basically go, ugh, and then they have to take it down.
So it actually works.
And when I say that, I always think
I just
of
clippy
Jan
clomped my
Animations.
hoof.
I wonder, I could probably put more Grogar in there.
Add more Grogar.
Like, because put the little audio bit beforehand. Like right here. So it really doesn't change time much. It adds like 1 second.
You had it all this time? Why didn't you?
Okay. Is there anything else in here that...
Why didn't you do? Why didn't you do? You do.
Okay.
You do.
That actually moved her, which I did not want to do. Because now I gotta move her audio to catch up to this.
Oh, I just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass.
What? Wait. I could just barely hear that. That's not what I was expecting. Wait.
It's, oh, I just clippy clomped up your ass.
Oh, I just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass.
Oh, my hoof up your ass.
Oh, the TF2 pony audio is great.
I just wanted something I could make it that's in like a couple weeks that was just super short, and
Not
this was
something
the idea.
that takes over a year.
Yeah, well, that was the original intent after Anthology, was to start just making super short things, but I still was stuck making the super long thing.
Well, you keep wanting to add more to it, and I'm still not convinced yet that this isn't going to end up like with 3 side stories attached to it.
No, I can't. I'm stuck with the audio that's there. The only thing I'm doing is that it's going to be this shot, then so this one is, oops, I deleted Gorgard.
And I'm pretty sure the internet already thinks you're dead again.
Somebody made a comment on the stream like a week ago, and it was like, I'm glad to see you're still making things. I'm like, I haven't stopped. I was making things, I just haven't finished anything. There's a difference.
What was it before that? You were working on a Fallout video that never got finished?
Yeah.
It was really shaping up, too.
It was all scene builds, though.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really lead to anything. Alright, so then she is going to be in her, like, whatever position she was in here. Kind of.
Did they not have an alicorn model of her yet?
The problem is that I can give her a horn,
Yeah.
but I have to then be careful the angle I'm using it at, because horns are in the center of the head, but her hair is also in the center. So if I want to have it being used, it's going to be coming through the middle of a roll instead of on an edge.
Well, hair, it isn't solid.
I know, but it's going to look really weird. Because, hair isn't solid, but if you have a Swiss Miss roll and you jam, like, a big old pole right to the middle of it, it's no longer, it wouldn't hold, it's going to fall apart. Her hair would split right down the middle.
I think that's how hair works.
You can't jam something that big up the middle of it without it destroying that whole roll. So it would have to be in between one of these. And it's fine if I keep at like this angle, I can put it up through the middle and it's fine because you can imply that it's not. That's kind of how they do it here.
They kind of just have it behind everything.
You know, because they can layer things however they want. I mean, just think about this in general. You can see the flat area of her eyes, even though it's a curved face. So this eye should not be that visible. In any pony shots, that's always how it works, where they always have the
3/4.
No, but it's not actually. Well, Discord's not a good example. They always do where they show the other eye exceedingly more than they should. Like, so let's say like right now, this isn't a 3/4. We're sitting quite a bit around the corner. I am now an equivalent of that angle. Actually, it was probably more like this. You can't see that other eye. To get that equivalent of that look, I would have to go to this.
Yeah, that's about right.
No, this is not the same. I am now probably a good 40 degrees more this way.
It has her body turned differently than than her head.
No, it's just they can get away with the weird proportions of that other eye. It's always all cartoons do that.
Yeah.
It's not just this one.
She's kind of cute for an evil.
Big boy.
Worse.
Big boy. Big boy.
Hey, big.
He's happy. Happy.
He's happy.
Happy. Yay.
He got a Stairmaster and he worked out and it's really worked for him. What was that one super popular workout item that people put between their legs in the 90s?
Men.
What? No. It's like, oh crap. I can't remember. It was like something people squeezed. He got one of those.
One of my favorite games with YouTube is when you hit a number on the keyboard, it goes to 1/10 of the video.
Yeah.
So, and it's to see what it is so you can hit it repeatedly.
So you can hear it. Gotcha.
Bill.
Vil. They're villains. Duh. She floopy. She looks like she's just agreeing with him like really intensely.
That's not a right noise. That's Time Master said. No, that's I love doing that.
Thank you.
I've had it at a couple of my videos where I say like press F for an adventure, or no, push 5. There's one of them that says push 5, and like every time you hit 5, I think somebody gets hit in the head. I think that was Luna's banishment.
We're going on an adventure.
I think that was what it was. No, it wasn't that. What was the button for this one? There was. Oh, was it? Oh yeah, it was the glomp button. 8.
Glomp, glomp, glomp. She's getting glomped. That's pretty hot.
Well, now it's got to load the video. She's dying of a heart attack.
Yay.
He's sick of my shit.
What is it? Oh, that's the gem he was carrying.
There we go.
How did he get to figure out what that powerful artifact he found was?
Whether or not it actually was a real artifact or not.
Yeah, that is a good point. He could have just...
When I was going through the audio here earlier, I just ran across the one where she had transformed into the chaos thing, but there was no music, so I just clicked one part. It was just like, just screaming laughter and just weird fucking noises, and I'm like, the hell did I click? And then it kind of caught on what it was, but with no audio or anything. It was great. Blade, so you weren't here for this when I was explaining that, because it was brought up before. So, to separate this, it was a 5.1 audio file that I had to get, and the Google Play one doesn't work because I couldn't download it offline. But I found by Googling around that there's a place that you can download all the episodes in their 5.1 audio format. So you get an MKV file, but Audacity won't run an MKV file. You have to download a add-on that they talk about with Audacity. That's FFmpeg. It actually has this section in here under libraries, even though, or before you download it. So once you download it, you just go in here to locate, and you have to locate a specific file. It tells you the file name. And when I downloaded it, it was like AV format 55 or AV, one of these ones. It tells you which ones to select, and you just select that file so it knows where it is. And then it will load the MKV file, and it will then bring in all the bits, and then you look for the one that just has the talking in it. So in my case, that was this one.
We're villains.
Do you want another drink?
Duh.
Do you want some wine? Strawberry rhubarb wine? Or do you want another one of those?
You can bring me whatever. I can do wine.
Cool. I want to try it. See if it's any good. Here, give me your can.
Put it over there because it's not done yet.
What? Chug, chug.
I like to enjoy my alcohol and not just like plug my nose and down the hatch.
This is bomb. Next one.
So then.
Oh, I just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass! Clomped my hoof up your ass!
So I wonder if I can cut this audio. Just to get the good parts in quicker.
Oh, I just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass! Your ass! Oh, I just clippy clomped my hoof. Oh, I just. Oh, I just.
Okay, this needs to be cut a little bit quicker.
I just... Oh, I just clipped...
It's red.
It is red.
Smells weird. Smells like strawberry, but it smells like something else as well.
Rhubarb?
It's probably what it is. Hold on. I was transferring stuff, so I want to make sure it went. I got an SD card for Black Friday.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Not currently on Twitter. The answer is no.
Loaded for me. So, it's just down for you. You're banned.
What did you do, Blur? It's pretty good, isn't it?
It's weird.
It's a strawberry rhubarb wine.
It's exactly what it is, but it's like there was a one drink. It was. What was it? It was one we got. It was a polar one, but it was so. Like cream puff, like a cream puff pie or some kind of a pie flavored, but it was like one that shouldn't be in a drink. No, it was eggnog. That's what it was. It was an eggnog soda, and we got it. Yeah, it was an eggnog flavored polar soda, and we were like, "That sounds really weird." And so we got it, and it tasted like eggnog, and we never finished it.
Carbonated eggnog does not sound good.
It tasted just like it said it would taste like, and that's what was wrong with it. Sometimes just because it matches the name doesn't mean it's good.
Well, in this case,
no, this isn't actually that bad.
You can make wine really out of anything. I even saw recipes for wine.
Oh, I just clippy clomped
made
my
from
hoof up
tree
your
bark.
ass.
I don't think that would be very good, but anything with sugar in it, I guess. Maybe the type of tree bark. Maybe like a maple wine.
Fuck your ass.
This sounds weird, you saying it. Well, you can make wine out of anything with sugars in it, and there's a lot of sugar in tree bark from the just the sap. Well, it does have sugar. That's where maple syrup comes
your
from.
Ass. Oh, I just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass.
Mind blown.
Oh, I just...
Maple trees have lots of sugar, but all trees have some.
Oh, I just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass.
Real maple syrup's expensive, though.
It's good stuff, though.
Yeah, it is.
But some of the best pancakes and syrup I ever had was just some, like, Indian place at a casino. Just got, like, an all-natural thing. It was, like, twice as expensive, but it was good.
Like,
it was
syrup?
All-natural, like, maple syrup and an all-natural, like, pancake mix. The pancakes were a little flatter and grainy, but it were so good. Some of the best pancakes I've ever had.
I think when it comes to like using all natural ingredients, I never want to use baking powder for anything. Yeast is so much better. It takes more time, but it's so much better than using baking soda. When baking anything with bread.
Oh, I just clippy clomped my hoof up your ass.
I like that at the end.
It's just
well, because some of the biggest comments I ever got on this one was this shot, or was this one, because I left it in there for like one little second. That was it, and I got more comments from that part of it than most of the others. So it's essentially just going to the same thing. But YouTube likes to cut off potential upwards of a couple of frames at the end, so I don't want to like just do 3 frames. Because what actually is a good idea is you do, like, you make it this long or something really short, but then you add in 4 to 5 frames of black at the end.
Yeah.
And then it's usually fine. I think YouTube's gotten better about it, but early YouTube had some problems with it.
I do like Grogar's design.
Yeah, I know. That's why they said it was kind of just the weird 180 where I wanted to see him just do some like all-powerful thing. But really, if you think about it, with being 4 big-name villains all trying to do what they need to do in the end of one season, when you can say that the 3 of the other ones worked together all the time, so they became like a singular entity. But then to have him in there too, it would have... I don't know how you would have fit a good story in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It would be too much.
With him, like, leading the other 3. And he's supposed to be, like, super powerful.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be him going against... It would probably be a 3-factor thing where the other 3 are against him, who's against the other 2, the villains and the good people. So it just really... I was curious how they're going to play it off because I didn't see how they could make it work with him.
Yeah.
But then when Discord popped out, it made sense. But at the same time, it sucked because he was a villain that felt like he never did anything.
Grogar?
Yeah.
He was just planning. He was just all about the plan. I would have been curious, like, it's a complete hypothetical, in a situation where he wasn't betrayed, whether or not he would have actually fought against the main 6 to see if they couldn't defeat him.
But he needed his bell. If he had his bell, probably. I bet you. Well, the thing is how did he get defeated before?
The elements, but they were destroyed.
But I would think that if the fool me once approach, they probably would, because with this bell, they almost took. Actually, anytime they've ever had a villain problem, it ends up being that everybody in the world is defeated except one person.
Yeah.
Every time. Can you think of a time where that didn't happen?
Everybody was defeated except one person?
Or where everybody failed and it was one person that brought everybody back together.
Yeah.
In terms of season ending type thing.
Well, season 1, Twilight was the only one who managed to not get discorded.
Yeah.
Season 2, Cadence primarily broke Shining Armor free and saved everyone from Chrysalis. Season 3 was kind of a group effort. Like, Spike was the one who saved everything overall, but I think that one was kind of a group effort.
It seems to me like it's like one person does most of the work, and then at the end, like, everybody comes together and just does friendship power. Like, in a friendship laser beam. That's it. It's what's about friendship, it ends up being about one person doing most of the work, and then all the other friends jumping in and taking the credit.
You know what? Twilight got the wings. Nobody else got the wings.
Yeah.
She got credit due.
Yeah. Should have gave Grogar wings.
He needed them.
He does have wings. They're on his head. I was saying earlier, too. Just because then you can't unsee it. If you take off the horns and the eye, he's just a big penis.
A little bit.
I think, well, no, I keep the horns.
Keep the beard into the penis.
It's the foreskin. It's just on backwards.
It's on backwards. It doesn't look too good. Oh.
But yeah.
I'm trying to think.
He's just a big old penis.
Season 4 was Starlight.
Penis.
I kind of feel like the whole town defeated Starlight.
Yeah, what a dick.
I think, yeah, the end of season 4, I think it was a group effort the whole way through.
See, this is again the problem of his face says this, but his body says this. So it's this. It always is hard to position with the pony things because it feels like they're doing like 3 different directions at once. So I just have to come up because like in here he's aimed this like further to the left, but he's looking forward towards this direction, but nothing about him implies his body is twisted. So it's just weird. This will be fine with what we're doing.
I do remember reading a lot of comments with this about people upset with Grogar just being Discord. Because they wanted to see what Grogar could do.
Yeah, I know, because I thought he was actually a cool sounding dude that felt like they were doing a build up to something he would do, and that he would get the bell and something.
And unlike the other villains, he actually was like taking his time and planning. The rest of them were just kind of throwing themselves.
I know, which is so surprising that he did that, because then you're like, oh, he's got to do something cool now.
Because he's actually stepping back and monitoring the situation, and he understands his enemy better than any of them. At least that's what was portrayed. And he seemed smart.
She's happy lasers.
Yay, lasers.
Okay, so I need to make something that looks like that. We don't need the bell in this shot. Oh yeah, the bell is on his neck.
Maybe we'll get him back in pony life. Can you imagine that?
Oh my god.
Grogar fighting in pony life.
I don't think there's going to be any... The most fighting they're going to do in there is over who's taking the bed sheet.
Well, they said what this synopsis of the whole show is just basically going to Sugar Cube Corner and getting high on Pinkie Pie's supply.
That sounds okay with me.
I mean, I think I'll actually enjoy playing Life for a season. If it drags on longer than that, I'm going to grumble.
Okay, so I need like... Okay, I'm still loading a library, so... Okay, I did save it. It's probably going to crash.
I think putting Life existence is just a jerk reaction from Hasbro because their stock prices took such a hard hit after MLB ended.
I think they're just trying to... I think it's an in-between.
Yeah.
It's something that's quick and easy to do that can fill the gap while they work on something bigger.
Mm-hmm. While they work on Gen 5.
Yeah, so I think it's... Well, I don't think it's meant to be anything other than to maintain some kind of a profit in the middle.
Maintain their audience as well, because if they take a year off, people are going to wander off.
Well, not even just that, but you have an IP, make some money off of it. So, and if you by changing the art style drastically, they can move into a slightly different market or sell something different that's not the same things. The style that's there doesn't really fit well for like Pretty Pony, like combing hair, but like stickers and color books and stuff, those are actually really well made for that.
I am curious to see the direction they're going to go with this, given the song they used. I wonder if that was intentional or just an oversight. Like, are we going to have a bunch of ponies just going hell yeah all the time?
What would make my like year is if they just have Piggy Pie just look right at the camera and just say holy shit.
We can only hope.
That's the one thing with the Expanse coming up that I'm super looking forward to is that Avasarala is allowed to swear way more, as her character was normally allowed, and to use more of her colorful analogies, which was not allowed before.
What station does that air on?
Amazon.
What did it air on before?
Sci-Fi.
That's why.
So it was on Sci-Fi, then Amazon. It moved to Amazon for streaming, but not long after it was canceled, the big movement by the fans ended up having it where Jeff Bezos announced, surprisingly, that he bought the rights to it. And so far, the reviews for it are glowing. And
wish I had that kind of money.
To just buy a show?
Yeah, my show got canceled. Quick, buy it so we can make more.
No, he was asked specifically, and the fans of the show even rented a plane that had a save the Expanse on it that went around their headquarters. Like, no, they went all out on it. And but it ended up working.
I guess.
But it's it looks like it's working out to where they will probably be way more successful on there, and they were successful before. So,
I mean, to be honest, the only person I ever hear talking about that show is you.
it's an amazing show.
Yes.
It's
no Game of Thrones, but
it is essentially
one.
just a space Game of Thrones in a way.
Yeah, I never watched Game of Thrones. I think I watched like
That might work.
one episode, and not consecutively. Like,
yeah, I never watched it.
I did watch a bunch of Breaking Bad. That's one I always want to go back and finish.
But I've been reading in the books. I'm season 4 should be good. It was I'm thinking it was canceled because with how season 3 ended, season 4 and especially season 5 and 6, the 3D budget for it was probably going to get too high. And Sci-Fi originally, when they started, they made the show right after they were acquired by like some bigger company, and they essentially had a much larger budget. So they basically blew the whole budget on this show, and it was amazing. When Amazon bought it, they basically moved that same budget with it. So that's my assumption for it, but it could just be that there was changes and stuff, that the ads, well, people were watching it, they maybe were streaming it or downloading it or something, and it wasn't making the money to Sci-Fi as much. Well, with Amazon, it is a streaming service, and I think it's actually better belonging in a streaming service. So, which works out well. But yeah, season 4 is going to be good, but season 5 and 6 have to go together, unless they fit it all into one season, but that'd be a lot. But then after season 6, it would get... I don't know what they're going to do, because everything changes so much. So
next weekend?
Yep, next Friday. So a week from today. It comes out. We just haven't set up anything yet to have a...
How do you want to get like everybody together to watch it?
Yeah, this was the plan.
Yeah.
So no watching it otherwise. Normally I hate spoilers, but I've looked up some information about some of the details of it just because
I've read the books.
I've read the books. So it's not exactly the same. There is a bunch of differences. They're developing Amos and Naomi more than the books originally did for season 4. There really wasn't much character development in the books for them, not until season 5 and 6. Instead, they're taking some of the development from 5 and 6 and they're shifting it into 4 so that they can help maintain a more consistent storytelling.
So far, the only development between those two that I've really recognized is that he protects her because he respects her.
Not really anymore.
Well, yeah, that
He's kind of become his own person.
She did some shitty stuff.
He's they do a lot more. Amos and Naomi get a huge amount of character development in book 5 and 6. Book 5, every one of the characters is split up. None of them are even in the same spot for most of the entire book.
Did they ever really touch on the Amos and how he's kind of like void of emotion? Like how he doesn't really...
Yes and no. They had actual chapters where it's from his head, so you get to hear from his perspective, which is exactly what you would think of how it would go. But they give implications as to his past.
Yeah.
He never actually says anything, but they put you directly in it, and you can infer a lot.
It basically implied at one point that something happened to him at some point that made him essentially not even view human life as like...
I wouldn't say anything.
Kind of
I wouldn't say there was any specific event that did it for him. It was just his life.
Just a hard life that kind of made him numb.
There we go. Kind of.
Because he almost seemed like when he was talking to that one dude who was hooked up to the machine, who was also the same way, where they had actually destroyed the part of his brain that made him care. Can't remember the details.
But that was not that was never a thing in the book.
Yeah.
So if you think about it that way, if it was never a thing that was mentioned in the book, then that would not be
something that would carry over.
Yeah.
They made it seem in that part, though, that Amos was like trying to find some way to go back.
It doesn't mean that they're not taking his character in a slightly different direction.
Yeah.
His character, how it plays out, they can be flexible with him in the show. The parts that are important, I think that they can kind of skimp on.
Probably put that lower in the water.
I'm going to move the water up. I'm just trying to get it in its position. I just want to get the sizing right. Like, is that about the right size? I think I need to get a teeny bit smaller.
Yeah, that scene just stuck with me because Amos almost seemed to be looking. He realized he had a problem and was trying to find some way to undo it.
The one nice thing I'm looking forward to with Amazon taking the show over was a lot of times when another show buys it, something like that, they go, okay, well now we're going to replace it all with our people. None of it's changed. All the people that did all the camera work, the writing, everything are the exact same people. They never changed anything. So they just said, we're buying it, keep doing what you do. Well, which is great.
If you like something, you don't want it to change. That sounds like somebody actually enjoyed the show. Jeff Bezos, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know if he watched it or what the details are with him on it. Or if he just got it because he liked sci-fi and he heard it was cool and people were excited about it. And if you have a bunch of sci-fi nerds that really want something and you own a space company, you buy a show like that, you're probably going to get all of those space nerds to be paying more attention to your space shit. So, I love the one quote from Bezos where he's like, they're like, well, what do you have this, like, the richest man in the world, what do you do with all that money? And he goes, well, it got to the point of there's nothing I can do with this money except for just buy spaceships. Like, he has nothing that he could buy that was worthwhile for his money other than the most expensive possible thing you can think of.
I can't help but imagine there's like somebody working at one of the facilities. Better healthcare. No, spaceships.
No, it's fine because like I think healthcare is important, but I think that space is something that will advance everything.
But we already have a space organization.
NASA's been, I wouldn't say lacking. It's just that their funding has been cut to a point where they're using all these other nations, which is good because it's helping those other places build up too. Seeing the private sector build up for things is really cool. But it's, I'm okay with people dumping all the money into space because I love the space stuff. So
I do hear that a lot from a lot of people. Because I enjoy it too. I am looking very much forward to the first man on Mars.
They're gonna have another. I hope that happens in my lifetime. Just because that would be another moon moment.
It's supposed to happen within like the next 6 years.
Do you know how many times I've heard them say something about we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that when it comes to Mars?
Yeah.
Having somebody live on Mars isn't that difficult. It's you have to get them there without getting cancer and dying. And that's the hard part right now. Is they have a lot of things to watch out for and double check and make sure of.
Well, SpaceX has their first launch to drop off supplies on Mars for the eventual human mission. Not next year, 2021. So it's underway.
Yeah, no, it's there. You can't make progress without starting. And if you spend all of your time just planning, you're never going to actually get anywhere. So sometimes you just kind of say, fuck it, let's send some shit there. Because it's pushing somebody to get started.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good thing. What happened with the water? I thought it was a moving texture.
Why didn't you
As far as I'm aware, NASA and SpaceX are kind of racing each other to see who can get there first. Which I think some little bit of competition isn't a bad thing.
No, competition is
it pushed the moon launch, but at the same time they did kind of bootstrap that to make sure they got there first, and some people died along the way, which wasn't great.
No, I think that having competition is essential because without that's the whole basis of our economy, is that competition is supposed to help spur things to get done.
I just hope they don't go as gung-ho as they did it with the moon, because the moon launch, it did have a lot of people die along the way, a lot of mistakes, a lot of explosions. Friendly competition is good.
Desperate competition, no.
Is not.
And
that's what the moon launch was.
But that was some. But we did some cool stuff. And
we did do some cool stuff. I will admit there's some cool stuff happened, but a lot of bad stuff happened too.
Okay, so I think. So I need to figure out where this.
Want some more wine?
Sure, I'll take some. This is actually pretty good. I think it's because it's like overly sweet. It's less a wine and more a fruit juice. It's not a bad thing. So I think... No, I don't want to actually do an override. So where is this located at? This is in... Because that texture is moving too fast for the water. Water moving that fast would have like a splashing on the edges. I don't want that. So I want to fix it. And I know that there has to be a way to change the speed that the water is moving at. So I want to see if this matches. Animated texture. Okay, frame rate's 20, so that makes sense. Texture scroll rate. Let's fix this first. I just want to make sure I'm not... It's like if you drop the frame rate, if you're not going to make it stuttery. Because that can be a concern too. I don't know if that's changed anything. Well, it's 1/10 the speed. I have decimated it. Okay, that did not change it. So, is this the scroll rate? Is this scroll angle? So let's drop it to 2. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out. We're gonna go to 5. If this thing is going Mach 5, then I figured it out. Doesn't change it. Okay, so that's not it. Scroll angle is not going to be it. Frame rate, I would think would be it. Okay, this is 1/20th. If I don't notice it. Okay. So what is making it move?
Where'd you get that water texture from?
It's a download from Workshop. Okay, so this is pulling variables. Bump frame. Okay, let's see what this means.
Very square.
These textures is normally... oh, these aren't going to have really good descriptions. Oops. Animated texture, there we go. So, frame variable to increment. Bump frame, frame, detail frame. Okay, so this is traveling at the speed of your frame rate? Okay, let's do a test.
What exactly are you noticing?
It's... I feel the water's moving too fast. so I want to slow it down. Because water moving that fast would be starting to like splash up on the surface. So I want to slow it down.
I think the only thing that's bothering me about that water is all the squares.
The what?
Everything's squares. Like all the water's like a bunch of moving squares.
It's going to be slightly blurred with the motion. Well, it's doing that because it's a little faster right now. But it'll be, once I slow it down, it'll be fine. Plus, once I get everything lit and everything, the water's going to probably be slightly transparent and not really visible. It's just really visible right now because of how the lighting is.
Yeah.
No, so if it's tied to the frame rate, let's increase the frame rate.
I feel like the water in Half-Life 2 better, honestly.
Make it 60. Okay, so it's not 100% tied to the frame rate. But I don't know what bump frame means. Frame rate and frames per second fixed cannot be changed once set. Well, then why can I change it?
Mystery.
It's confirm animated VTF. So, can I math this?
Using math as a verb again, are we?
Like, can I just do like divided by 2? If anything, it'll just crash. I didn't do anything. But it also... Oh! It's because it's commented out. Okay.
It was just like, no! Not allowed.
Okay. I mean, it's commented out, so yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that. But that didn't change anything. Fog end, fog start, fog color, fog enable. You know what? I know why it's not working. Because I should be selecting C. That's gonna do it.
You were in the wrong file.
Because originally I selected C, but B was the one I selected before, but it wasn't moving. And that's why it wasn't moving, because it commented out. So now this should work. Yeah, there we go. Alright. No, but I love troubleshooting and stuff like that. That's half my job, is exactly that. Is there's a problem and we don't want it just solved. We need to figure out why it was broken so that it can't happen again.
My job lately has been getting really good at that video game John got me to download on my cell phone.
I spent all day today trying to make one database in SharePoint upon submission of a form, transfer all that data and map everything to another database to create a new entry there and make sure that it worked.
Okay.
That was my day.
Doesn't seem too difficult.
Yes and no.
You're just trying to move data entered into one block to show up in another file, right?
There's 35 different fields and not all of them are mapped. Some are one-to-one, some have to have unique entries put into them, some have to be converted, some have to be I had to make out a whole plan as to what field went and did what. But and it didn't work the first time, and then I realized that it was because I used the wrong function, and if I would have had one number wrong, it would have wiped all the data that was in the server it was going to. And I realized that I did that part right, thankfully. So
most programming I've ever done was building
bots
for.
I didn't do any programming.
Oh, well, you're writing code.
No.
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 I don't understand Excel at all. Then
I'm not using Excel.
what are you using?
SharePoint and InfoPath.
I've never even heard of those.
InfoPath is an Office product. It's for developing a forms, but it links to SharePoint. SharePoint is just kind of a web development tool that's just open-ended that people can utilize for stuff. And InfoPath is not made to do half the crap I'm making it do. I'm making it like run if-type statements, even though it doesn't have if statements. It's just work. I know how logic works, and so I'm making it simulate if statements, and It's
It worked.
it does some pretty nifty stuff. And all I care about is that I'm making some really cool stuff right before the end of the year, and then we have reviews. So, and since we can get upwards of 10% raises.
Whoa.
So
that'd be a good raise.
I know. That's why I want to make sure I'd look really good. So my previous company was absolute max. Best raise they could possibly give you is 4%. So I don't expect to get 10%. But
I always kicked things if I didn't get at least 3.
What, you throw a little tantrum? You just go in the back room like, hey! Like start throwing electronics?
I look dead straight at my boss, like every year. Like, so, what's my raise? And he knew if I didn't get 3, I'd basically be like,
There was
You just start looking for another job.
There's an article I read recently about a lady at Delta, a flight attendant that got fired. She was 79 years old. She had been working as a flight attendant for 56 years or something like that.
Time.
And she was she was fired for stealing a carton of milk. But she had said that she had spent the last however much time being harassed and being basically pushed out, because when you're at a company that long, getting normal raises because you're the top in the LA area and top 6 in the United States. She was making $250,000 a year as a flight attendant because she got good raises every time that they had to contractually. And after 56 years of raises, she was making 4 times the average wage of somebody in her position. So, and she also had the highest seniority. So anything she wanted, if they had a list for it, she was at the top of the list. So she had everything. Nice. She had it fucking made, and so they
found a card.
So it was a bunch of other things, but they ended up she's suing them now for age, gender, and job discrimination and stuff.
I mean, they did fire her just to get rid of her.
Well, that's what the articles were saying. There was a lot more information, but the article started off with woman fired from Delta for stealing carton of milk. But that was what actually is the straw that broke it.
It does
but
sound
still,
like they were looking for some way to get rid of her because they were paying her so much money. But in her defense, they probably wrote up the contract.
But if you have somebody that's exemplary, even something like that, if you have a really, really, really good employee, you're not going to go and look at one little thing and say you're fired.
No, you're going to look at, holy shit, they're making a shit ton of money because of the contract we made up. We've made a mistake. How do we get rid of her? She stole a carton of milk. That'll be enough.
But she didn't.
She didn't even steal a carton of milk?
No, she had asked for permission if she could have one. And then even went through multiple layers of things. And then they still said that it was still against the rules even though she had went through all these rules. So no, that's
bullshit.
Yeah, there was a lot of bullshit with it. But still, $250,000.
They wrote the contract.
Yeah,
she didn't write the contract.
That's a lot of money to do. But she loved her job. That's why she kept doing it.
Well, for making that 200 something.
Well, just imagine that. Your 4% raise is what would that be? $10,000. It's that's kudos to her. If I was in that position and I was making $250,000, not to say the flight attendant is an easy job. That is not a job.
You're probably away from your family a lot, especially if you're doing international flights.
You're away from your family. You have to deal with shitty people that you can't get away from. You can't even go hide in a corner because they're always around.
Yeah.
You always have to have a smile on, and you work stupid hours.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing she could pick all the good hours.
Not to mention being able to plan all the time.
And she had priority for volunteer on overtime. Time and a half.
Time and a half would be nice.
But she was 79 too, so.
Yeah.
I
had a similar situation with a guy I worked with at Kroger's. Kroger's had a union. And the guy, he was in his 70s, and he'd been working at Kroger since he was in his 20s. And they guaranteed raises every year. He was making buku dollars working at Kroger.
Well, when I was at McDonald's, I started at McDonald's at $5.50. There was a
how'd you manage that? That's less than minimum wage.
Because I was 15, And when I turned 16, I instantly got jumped up to minimum wage. But before that, I had to have a sign off for my parents. But I could work there, but then I could work for a lower amount. But I started at $5.50, and when you have no job, you're living home with your parents. It wasn't too bad, and it was a good experience because I had no idea what I was fucking doing, and I learned a lot.
It was a good experience.
No, it was because it basically like slaps you with the real world and says, "Get the fuck on the ground." So, it was a good experience. But when I started there was a guy that was working patties. He had been there for 13 years. He was making like $15 an hour. And this was like 15 years ago. That was pretty good money for flipping patties. Really. But
surprised they hadn't made him management by that point.
You don't want him as a manager. He was good at flipping patties.
All right.
Yeah. No, I mean I was there for like 6 months and they offered me a management. I said no.
Like management, especially if you manage to ever get up to district manager, which essentially you have to sell your soul to McDonald's, you can make decent money. But that's about it. That's the only way you can make decent money.
But you're not even making... You're making good money for McDonald's, but you're not making good money...
You're making like $20 an hour.
It's one of the things that they were saying with trucking. Trucking is great because you can make good money for zero experience, but you will very quickly hit the top end and never go any further. And then you're stuck there because that's the only experience you have. That's why I was in trucking for 13 years. And then when I finally got out of trucking, I doubled my wages in 2 years or 3 years. So,
yeah.
But I got really goddamn lucky. So I knew the right people at the right times, and that's what helped me.
Yeah. I think moving to Minneapolis has just reaffirmed that where you live has a lot to do with how much you make too. If you make more, if a place has higher wages, it has higher cost of living, but it's to match up to the percentage. So you'll just have you're spending more for a living, but you're still going to have more leftover money because you can order things online, and whether you live in California or Kentucky, it's ordering online is the same cost. Yeah. Not to mention if you think about like retirement plans, like 401ks, no matter where you live in the world, stocks, they cost the same. 401k plans cost the same. So you can do a lot more making more money, and it's even if the place you live has higher cost of living. Because if we're talking about percentages.
Dota has some like spiked kind of things like this. I'm trying to find them.
I think I'm making probably $15,000 more a year here. And the work is so much easier. I was basically on like the electronic technician assembly line like of repair back in Kentucky.
Well, I found that
here is far more laid back.
Like I've had drastic increases in wages, but none of my job has become harder. It's actually become easier. I just found that the decisions that I have to make impact and cost more. So if I mess something up, like for some of the systems I put in place, if suddenly they were to fail because I didn't do something right, it would have a drastic impact on things. So that's why I had to put like redundancies in place, and they pay you to basically know to not fuck up. So, and that's where I see like management is where you get to a point where you're not doing the work anymore. Your decisions have just become so important and impactful that you are there just with the knowledge and the know-how to make the decisions that don't fuck shit up.
You know what? The average cost I quote to the customers for the place I work at for one repair. $1,500. That is what I charge. I mean, I don't decide that. There's like a list of stuff. I decide what needs repaired, and then the system decides what I charge for it. Mm-hmm. But on average,
it's about $1,500.
Huh?
To a company, that's nothing.
No.
Because the conversation I had with my boss the one time. Oh, I think that might be kind of what I'm looking for.
My time is valuable, apparently. Because
there was the conversation I had with my boss, and I had worked out this plan, and I said, so if we, it was for licenses for people. And I'm like, well, if we do, you guys are wanting to buy like 1,500 licenses, and these things were like up to $90 a piece. And they said, well, so let's do this, and if we rearrange it like this, we can save about $10,000 a year. My boss literally laughed at me, and she goes, "That's nothing. $10,000 is nothing. Just buy the licenses." I'm like, "It's $10,000." She goes, to me, that's a lot of money. To the company, you drop that out of your pocketbook, and they don't give a shit." She goes, "No, don't worry about it." I mean, even the company now, they talk in. They'll talk in money as 1.2 and 9.4, and it's always in millions. 0.5. They always talk in millions because they just make so much money. So this
yeah,
just busted. But that's fine because the money goes to me too.
You do make a good living. You make about $20,000 more than I do a year. I'm hoping for a raise here soon, though.
One, I make enough to what was they said in an article I remember reading way back that said it was, can money buy happiness? And it said, and it actually said yes, to a point. It said money buys happiness up until about $70,000 to $75,000 a year.
Would you be happier if you had a company launching rockets into space?
My company does launch rockets into space.
No, if you personally owned a company launching rockets.
We actually were our division was reorganized under space. But then we were an exception that was pulled back out. Like, no.
No, I wanted space.
No, it's, they said money buys happiness up to about $70,000 to $75,000 a year. Because at that point, you are able to own a house, do all this stuff that you need to in life, and hit the point where you can save comfortably. And they said after that is now you no longer buy happiness, you buy life satisfaction. So
I think I would be happier or more satisfied if I had enough money to have like a workspace, like a workshop that I could just go to and like fiddle.
You just get a big garage. My brother has a 3-car garage with an extension out the back. Mm-hmm. He has his garage is probably almost as many square feet as my entire house. His garage. He has a hockey rink in his lower floor.
Your brother does?
Yes, I did not know this. I went to his house, and the upper floor was just a normal house, and then we went down the stairs, and I'd never been downstairs of his house yet. And he had a fucking hockey rink. It was a small one, but it was for his kids to practice. He built a fucking hockey rink for them. So, like, they can literally just, like, whack.
How much money does your brother make?
He drives trash. So he makes good money. He's been there for quite a while. He's one of their best people, and he works a buttload of overtime. Yeah. So he gets time and a half for anything over 40. And then my sister-in-law does, like, microsurgeries. She does like medical procedures on rats.
So
and stuff.
She makes a lot of money.
Well, not like surgery on people. She does like lab testing.
But yeah, but that's still
it's decent money. But I mean, they also spend a lot of their days doing that, so they have no free time. So
yeah, what's the point at that point though?
But yeah, their house is probably 2.5 to 3 times more than this one. I think theirs was like over $500,000. So
they probably have nothing left.
Oh yeah, they put a lot of money towards it, but they're doing fine.
Oh yeah, as long as they don't lose their jobs.
Okay, so this is
be my concern.
No, they won't. And even if they did, my brother's smart. He has savings. This has to have a broken bump map or something because it worked fine in the other thing.
I'm proper drunk.
You've only had like 2. Oh, you haven't ate yet.
I haven't ate. Yeah, that's a big thing.
Grab some food.
Yeah.
I ate a buttload of food. I don't know if I want to put butt in the same sentence as food, but it's a pretty good wine though. This tastes like wine though. Hermit Cave. Oh, stalactite rock. No, that's the actual name of the texture.
Blur, you back yet? Blur, welcome back.
Baby, come back.
You can blame it all on him.
I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the model name. So this is stalactite. I still don't see it. Oh no, it's right there. Okay. What was I looking at for again? Okay, bump map. Rock O2N. So this is under models. Let's do that. So models. Props mining. Stalactite rock O2V. Yeah, so that is missing.
The texture?
No, the bump map.
Oh.
Because it says the bump map should be in models, props mining, stalactite to rock O2N. There's nothing. And, oh, so where are you? That's their caves. Oh,
Let's just change the path, right?
Yep. See if that works. Well, should fix the error, whether or not it's the correct bump map, though.
Oh.
Okay, that fixed one of them? Okay, the question is, was it the correct one, though? That's my old RAM. Though it looks identical to my new RAM.
No, this wouldn't even fit in my computer.
Why not?
It's DDR4.
Oh, your DDR3?
Oh,
Do you want to hold on to that for when you get a new one?
These are 16 apiece, aren't they?
No, they're 8.
Right?
No, that's my old RAM. So that's 8 and 8. My current, I took the 16 out of there and I put those in. So if you're looking, because you're looking to get 32, aren't you? Unless, if you don't care about doing 4 stick, you could just get the cheaper 2 8 and then put in 4 sticks.
I wouldn't want to steal your RAM.
But I'm not going to do shit with it.
Well, don't you have 4 slots in there?
Yeah, but if it's a dual channel memory, so it's 2 and 2, and the power is split like that. So if you put your stick in like the 1 and 3 or the 2 and the 4, you're getting even power. But if you split it into 4, yes, you get more memory, but now you're breaking the power between them, so you lose some speed off of all of them. So you're getting more memory, but you're losing a little bit of speed. It's very minor speed drop, but unless you do a quad channel, if you do quad channel, then it doesn't matter. But it's dual channel.
2 16s in there now.
So it's 2 16s.
That's probably what I'm going to do.
So if you don't care about seeing a slight drop in speed, though if you overclock it, you could go above it anyway. But if you don't care about a slight drop in speed, you can just put in 4 sticks.
I will let you keep... Well, I could say the same to you. You could just stick those back in your computer if you don't care about the drop in speed.
Yeah, but why would I want to go 32 to 48? But so I opened that thing up, I put the RAM in, and I closed it up, and then I launched my computer, and my sound card wasn't detected. And I'm like, the fuck? And I look in there, and the light's on my sound card. So I'm like, the fuck? Because everything's running through my sound card. And so I couldn't figure out what was wrong. So I had to go in there, and I had to unscrew it, yank the whole sound card, and put it back in. Something got jostled, because as soon as I did that, it worked fine.
Right.
Plus, my computer was doing a flicker thing whenever I booted it, since I put the M.2 in. And I knew what the problem is, but I finally actually went and fixed it. For some reason, it defaulted the M.2 as my boot drive, so every time it started up, it would go down this list of boots, and the actual boot drive was moved to the last on the list.
Okay.
So now I changed it, and now it boots up in like 30 seconds quicker.
The M.2 is the new solid state, right?
M.2 is it looks like a RAM stick. It looks like that if you removed the heatsink.
Your computer is too powerful now. This is how Skynet starts, man.
No, I haven't overclocked anything in there, though.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I could. I have a monitor that does 2K 144 hertz. How many games do you think I've played that actually hit that?
I have no idea. 0.
None.
Well, I got
Vermintide runs at 90 frames per second. Halo runs at a pretty consistent over 100, but anything over 100 I'm fine with, so it's fine.
Yeah, I was thinking about computer performance today as I was looking at parts for my new build that I'm hoping to do here in the next month. Alex, Half-Life Alex. The only people who are going to be able to play that are people who can like dump $3,000 into a setup, roughly. Like $2,000 for the computer and then another $1,000 for the VR stuff.
Oh, yeah, because the VR, but I already have VR, so whatever.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money. There's a very small market for that game.
So why do you think that Index is now sold out and on a waiting list? To me, if I were looking from a business standpoint, Valve made the fucking right decision. They sold out of their own headsets because people wanted to play a Half-Life game desperately.
Yeah. I'm thinking about buying their headset.
Yeah, Valve was smart. Well, actually, if anything, just go with the Oculus.
Yeah, but you don't get the individual finger controls.
So buy the Oculus and buy the headsets or the controller separate. It's still cheaper.
Like, you can just buy the finger.
Look into it for the Oculus though. But for like it says on there, if you look on there, because I double checked this too because I like the little finger things too.
Because it feels like you're not getting the full experience without the finger things.
Controllers requires Vive Pro, Index, base stations, and PC. So as far as what I read this as is it doesn't work with the Oculus, but it does work with Vive.
Yeah.
So you don't need the Valve Index. That's why everything's separate here. You could buy the whole thing for like a buttload of money. Or no, that's not the thing. So like the whole thing here. But if you already have the base stations and you just want the controller and the headset, you can buy that. Or I just want to buy these. That's all I care about. I don't care about their headset. A lot of people have said the headset's a headset. That the base stations, who gives a shit? It's a base station. You can just get the Vive ones really. But these are unique and different.
Unique.
So.
Yeah, but I kind of thought about it.
Plus, if you get it, you get Alex.
The only people who are gonna buy this game to play are like people who are huge fans of the game initially, who are in their 30s now, who have the expendable cash to buy all this equipment. Because like some 14-year-old kid's parents, in most cases, aren't gonna buy them the kind of PC and hardware that are required to play this game. There's a very limited market for the number of people who can play Alex right now.
But
maybe
the thing is if you're talking about a kid with their parents,
yeah,
you're talking like somebody that's what, like
right.
15?
Yeah.
When did Half-Life 2 come out?
2006.
2004.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Yeah, everyone's in their 30s now who enjoy that game.
And they have money.
They have money.
So that's what I'm saying. From my standpoint, they're being greedy. But from their standpoint, that was a fucking brilliant decision.
At least they know their demographic.
It was years of prepping to put out a Half-Life game that was for a audience that was in their 30s to 40s and required a VR headset.
Not only requires a VR headset, but requires a pretty beastie computer.
Well, that's just VR in general, but no. From Valve's perspective, to me it was like they were playing a bet and over years and years, waiting for that one game.
Yeah,
because
they've based a lot of stuff.
They sold out all their headsets 4 months before the game released.
I want one of those headsets.
No,
I want to play Alex.
I think because you use the Oculus. The Oculus and the Vive are pretty equivalent. They both have pros and cons. So what you saw is similar to what I have.
Yeah.
I think the index is slightly better, but I don't think it's hundreds of dollars better.
Oh, I'm just waiting till after Christmas because I think things might.
Just to go back, Blurred asked how the work dinner was.
How was the work dinner? They took me to a restaurant where the food cost way more than it should have, and I would never go to on my own dime. But they paid for it. I had a couple drinks. I ate some salmon that was flavored with maple syrup for whatever reason. And,
That doesn't sound tasty to me.
I mean, it was different. And I like fish. You don't like fish, though, is the thing.
If you deep fry it and bread it.
No.
So if you take all the good, the things that...
If you remove the fish part.
It's like, was it Mythbusters did that thing on, does everything taste like chicken? So they had everything deep fried and breaded, and they said, yeah, everything tastes like chicken. And then they thought about it, and they're like, well, let's just pan fry it without bread. And they're like, it doesn't taste like chicken. So, yeah.
I like the taste of fish, so...
Yeah, I am not a fan of fish.
They had, walleye there, which I thought about getting. But at the same time, it was, $38 for, a plate.
Were they paid for it?
Well, they were paying for it, but I still would feel bad ordering that. That's way more than I would ever pay for.
What did they order?
Oh, I don't even remember. They got, appetizers and everything. They got, 3 appetizers, and then they got, the meals.
How much money do you think your
paid
boss
a
is
lot of
making,
money.
or that your boss's boss is making?
A lot. I imagine in the 6 figures.
6 figures?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, more than likely, but probably the high, not just 100. He's probably making. Boop. So, do you think a $38 dinner is going to bug him? If you think about it by comparison, say he's making $200K a year, and that's 4 times what you're making. So think of what you think of as a average price for a dinner, then times it by 4.
I got 2 drinks.
Ooh!
I even felt
Speaking of
nervous
such.
about doing that much. Huh?
Is there any more?
There's no more, but I bet the mead's cold now.
Yeah, if you want to grab some of that. Otherwise, just grab me a.
Do you want the
cider.
honey or the peach?
Honey.
Oh, no, it wasn't honey. The lemon meringue or the peach.
I want the honey.
Oh, they're both honey. They're both mead.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. No, lemon meringue. I'm not a huge fan of peach. I thought these spikes kind of looked good, but now that I think about it, they don't. Because these ones look curved and evil. These don't. They just look like lazy and retired. What would that be called? I'm more searching stalactite, but I didn't see anything in here that really interested me. And Spike didn't really come up with anything. What else would it be called? Jagged? No. All I can really think of is Spike. But then all you get is you get that. I don't want that. These are just... Yeah, they don't fit. To me, it's a stone thing, and I know that Dota has some good ones. So let's just switch over to Dota. It's C only Dota. Is there a Dota 2 or just Dota? Just Dota. Quarry Rock? You know what? Yeah, I actually, now that I think about it, thanks. I didn't actually think about trying rock. I think I've just been trying stone.
That's really good. That's stupid good.
It doesn't look like the same one as last time, though. No, I want curved. And I know they exist. It smells rubbery.
Rubbery?
Okay, it doesn't taste rubbery. That's fine.
That's good.
So when we were in high school, we had a science class, and in the science class, what we were to do was we were to take a water and we were to run it through a system of some sort that at the end would give us better water. That was really the only rules that it was. So the water had dirt and grime and all the shit in it. It looked like dirty water. And we were supposed to come up with a system. we had full control as to how it was done to make it drinkable at the end. And so everybody, it was cool because you were like, how do you want it, setting up filters and multi-filtered systems, and there was no rules.
Could you buy filters?
Anything you needed to do. But if you did use filters like that, you still had to write up a big scientific report, so you had to know everything about those filters and everything too. But you still had to have it as like a device. And so we were the only group that did distillation.
Okay.
So we thought the idea, we talked to the instructor, and he says, okay, that's fine. So he got us a Bunsen burner and a whole...
So you just boiled the water.
Yeah, so we set up, but we had to build the whole thing ourselves. No instruction. So we had to set up a system of boiling the water and then collecting the condensation and then having the drip off fall into another container that then would fall down a tube into an ice container that was, or two different containers where the center one was surrounded by ice to cool the condensation into a cup. And I had to write up this whole, nobody in my group did fucking shit, but wrote up this whole like 11-page report as to how everything worked for this whole experiment. And and then at the end, everybody had their glasses of water. Everybody's glass of water was some kind of a color still at the end. Some of it was clean. It was clean, but there was still stuff in it. And ours was perfectly clear. Like, we had perfectly clear water. And we got... So it was ranked on a whole bunch of things. We were ranked A's, or like top end, 10 out of 10 on everything, except taste. Because it tastes like rubber hose. Because when it was distilled, it was put through a probably not quite sanitary rubber hose. And so we were made fun of the whole time for having water that just smelled from a distance and tasted like rubber hose.
This is probably heated and then run through the rubber hose and just picked up rubber hose.
So, while it was clean and it was crystal clear, it was rubber hose. And so I got an A on that, actually. My instructor even pulled us to the side and said, your team didn't do anything, did they? And I'm like, no, they helped. And he goes, okay, no, they didn't do anything. He goes, okay. He goes, I know that. But it was in the standard testing where 5 is the absolute highest, but they never gave to anybody. 4 is the best grade normally. I actually got a 5 on that one.
If I was to make a water purifier, the way I understand a good filter works is just basically charcoal, sand, charcoal, sand, charcoal, sand.
That's what a lot of people did, is they did stuff like that. They did charcoal and stuff. We distilled ours because it was just water after that. But the problem was it was H2 and O. Like, there was nothing else in there. So it was the hard to drink water where it was nothing but water.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Usually you want something else in there, some kind of a mineral, something else. But it was just pure water, and it made it like it was sharp. It was
one of my favorite ways to distill water is like just to have a giant capacitor. Basically, it's like a Tesla coil kind of deal, and then you can create ozone, and that distills water. I think there's some plants that do it that way, like some in Michigan. And that basically just electrically charges the water to create ozone, and then that kills all the bacteria.
Okay, I'm gonna go to where Dota has their buildings, because like this is all heroes. I know it's in here. I just don't know how to find it. That's not an item.
Yes, this meat is so good.
This is good stuff. It is good.
I'll have to stop by that wine place more often.
You want the total wine?
Yeah. It's the only place I know to find it.
It's nice knowing FGM has some stuff though.
Yeah, they do.
It wasn't bad.
There were some more expensive bottles I might grab next time. This bottle isn't actually all that expensive, like $11. You don't get much from it.
That's why I like the sociable stuff, just because it's Yeah, it's not cheap. 4 cans is normally $9 to $10, but now like a lot of the places aren't selling it anymore. Where's the spikes?
They might not be making as much. Hard to say.
Maybe they weren't selling as well. Like me and Kyle were buying it a whole bunch, but
yeah.
I was thinking about mentioning if we wanted to go there tomorrow, but
I wouldn't mind. I love going there. They have good food. They have good meat buns or whatever.
they change their food often. We haven't been there for a while now.
The steam buns they got? Or
Yeah, but now, ever since the last time when me and John were there and we got a flight, and the guy looked at us and said, "Haven't you guys tried everything already?" Like, we're like, oh god, they recognize us. We come here too much.
I go in there though.
No, I do, but it adds up. But last time me and John went there, it was just me and John because everybody else was gone. Or it was raining and nobody wanted to go.
Where was I?
I think you were in Italy.
That happens. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. There was like some big event that was going on at the same time.
It was a dog event, so I'm not complaining. Well, it was raining. There was a buttload of dogs everywhere.
That had to smell.
No, it was doggies, and they were going and bark, and
smelling like wet dog.
everything was wet.
Yeah.
No, I didn't smell wet dog. It was fun. Just got to hang with John for a while, but we also got there too early.
John is cool. I like John.
I'm not seeing anything. I know that there's really what I'm looking for is there's a certain model that was used in I used it in a cave setting. If I don't find it, I know where I can go find the model name. And so I was searching cave because that was what I'd used it in before, and if I had to think about what I had searched for to find that, I had searched cave.
I'll be back. Too much alcohol. Too much alcohol. Okay.
I mean, I went through every model in here, though. There's trees. I don't care about trees. Wildlife, I don't care about. Winter, no. Okay. Alright, this is bugging me. It was an Australian cave picture. Oh, what did I call it? My crop banner, no. I don't know what I would have named it. I'm just going through here, and there's one called Changeling Pizza.
What is that?
I know exactly what it is. I had it where I was, I'm gonna open it because I don't remember what it's gonna show. But I think I know what it's gonna show, and if it is what I'm thinking of, it's really weird. Yeah.
Is that?
That's exactly what I was hoping for.
Why?
So, I remember I was working on the Changeling one video, and I posted a funny picture on Twitter, and I just kept following it up with more stupid pictures. Like I was trying to pull a Pikapedia where I was trying to make a reaction to something so as quickly as I could and post it back on Twitter. And so like every couple minutes I was posting a picture direct from here that was really, really stupid, but it was something about changelings eating yeah, doing something, and it ended up leading to them having a pizza party on the moon.
I mean, that does sound pretty fun. Now I just want pizza. I think I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah, that was the final picture. But I don't have the actual, like, iterations of it. And it was years ago on Twitter, so I wouldn't be able to find the originals of that.
Chrysalis is kind of creepy cute. It's weird.
But yeah, I don't think I would have named this in such a way that would be easy to figure out.
I don't know what you're looking for.
I'm looking for the cave picture I made using a certain cave bit.
I remember
way
the
back.
cave pit with Ember. Is that it? What you're looking for? The one you did with Ember?
No.
Because that was just the map from...
No, it was just a single model.
Can't you just use the map from Dear Esther?
I don't need a map, I need a model.
Okay.
If I use the map, I'd have to like rearrange it really weird. No, what I want is...
Well, they're derpy. They doing taxes.
This one. These spikes in the background. But all I called it was Austro Cave. That's not what any of these are named. So I could have been that I didn't save it. And I'm just fruitlessly looking for things. But
It seems unlike you not to save everything.
saving things, yes, it's in here somewhere. What did I name it though?
Maybe you named it something regarding Rainbow Dash.
That's what I was looking for. But there's under Rainbow, there's nothing under R, unless I put it under some other folder.
Did you put it under A?
But
Austria?
No, like I was under my pictures folder because I would think this is where I would put it. So, but if it's not here, then what is remnant? I have no idea what this is. Oh yeah,
I remember when you made that. It was pretty cool.
too dark though. That would end up being the negative part of it. And this was based on like a follow-up of another series that me and Adam were going to do and never did. Of the
so cool
Secret
for what it
Chipfic series.
Shipping, yay.
This is in the wrong folder.
Whatever happened to that shipping video you're going to make? You still planning on doing that?
You're just making shit up.
No.
I'm not making a shipping video.
Something with Starlight.
In Rarity?
No. Who were you shoot? Discord.
Starlight in Discord?
You talked about it at length. Oh no, it wasn't Discord, it was Sombra.
No, it wasn't a shipping video. You called it a shipping video.
It's a shipping
And it's funny thing is that it's with the song that's playing right now. But no, it wasn't a shipping video. And it wasn't with Starlight. It was the audio worked with Starlight, but I wanted to use Sombra. So, but that didn't make sense as a combination. But I don't think I will because that's another long video.
You just
Michael,
have to imagine it.
Michael, if they move freely and have mouths, you would be shipping them.
Gotta make those horses kiss, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find that file. It's just funny that you brought that up on this exact song.
just look at the draw, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I didn't save it. I wouldn't be surprised if I lost something. This one.
Give me the ... word blah.
No, he gave you 5 dots.
5 whole dots. Oh no. It's not pretend you don't want to see them horses cuddle.
Like, because that's really the only thing to fill this background is just some kind of a stone spire? No. Well, let's check what the workshop has.
Well, you're weird. He doesn't want those horses to hug.
All Might's a jump force.
Is he now?
He looks
weird.
He
That's
looks,
a weird model. I feel like they really need to work on the texture. Like, the model's fine, but the texturing is weird.
No, I don't think it's anything to do with the texture. All Might has a very specific lighting that they use to create harsh shadows on his face. Having the eyes without the harsh shadows doesn't fit. The eyes are supposed to fit with the shadowing, but they aren't using that, so it doesn't work.
It's Gnomesky. I wonder if Val's still working on Left 4 Dead 3.
There's Stone and there's Hagrid because he's stoned? Oh, Philosopher's Stone. Okay.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I thought it's because he's on drugs.
Well, he probably is.
A little bit. His eyes were literally going other directions.
He spent most of his time talking to animals, so.
Nothing in here. What the fuck? Whatever. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to figure out some kind of a thing with
For like
some of the stones that are just here.
I can't help but feel like one of the ruse of the caves from Dear Esther would work really well.
The problem is I would have to throw it in the cave, but to match with the other shot, I would have to find an exact shot where I can put that water in the stone to have the stones come up just in the right spot. Plus, then render times would be a bitch because I would have every shot using this map, and it would. I'd rather just have a couple models I can load than an entire map.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm already past Dota. How's it not? Do I have something turned off? Duty, Blade Symphony, Pride vs. Kings, Lost Coast, Dino D-Day, Duplicates Test. No, that's nothing that would have had it. That bugs me. Okay, we're going to Rocky. We're just going to pick something that's on this list. I don't care what it is.
It's what are they called? Like stalagmites?
Yeah, it looks up stalactites.
Stalagmites.
Stalactites and stalagmites are just depending on top or bottom.
Yeah.
I can't remember which is which.
I can't remember which is which either.
But I don't want... Those are pillars. I want spikes.
Yeah.
Spikes are curved.
Oh no, pillars is when the stalactites and stalactites merge. Then you get a pillar. But they're separate.
Well, no, but they're no matter what, even on their own, if they're not connected, they're still a straight up and down piece.
Yeah.
Piece. But I want a curved something to make it look like a spike coming up, because the show has curves.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hard to find.
But they're there. I know. I've seen them. I mean, they have stuff like this, but that's not the same. And if I made it big enough, it's just going to be, like, low texture. Those aren't actually curved. They're just visual playing.
In your glass, we can finish off that feed.
Thank you. If I have to use some... Like, I don't want to use this. The texture quality. There's gotta be something. Oh! Ugh. It's not the right color, but I can make it the right color. That might be what I was looking for. So it's TF2 Halloween. Wait, at least now I know how to search for what I'm looking for. Yes, evil pointy things is exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's last the bottom. What is this? And the salve was left.
Make it work. I wonder if that's why I was having problems finding it, because it was just under TF2.
Oh yeah. I kind of feel like the Gold Rush map used.
No.
No?
Halloween. These are high polys, so...
It's curved.
Main thing is if I can get more than one. I feel like these are going to be overly detailed, though. Because these are pretty simple. But until you try it. Because the problem is I'm going to be working with a very limited water range. Because if I move the water any further, it's going to... I'm going to see the edge of it, and I can't overlap these because if I do, you're going to get water that looks like... That looks fine.
You had it all this time?
Okay, actually, then good shit. I thought that was going to look really bad at the edge, but apparently it works, so okay, we're fine. Unless this on slabs. Oops. Okay. So this is going to be spike 1. The better spike.
The fly in the bebop.
What?
In the bebop. That's the better spike.
I feel like you're
Cowboy
just...
bebop.
Oh. I think
I'm
it's
making
like...
references.
I thought you were just like spouting words and
Just
some,
words.
some fever dream.
Oh, that's all this is. I'm pretty sure Minnesota is purgatory. The white, everything being white all the time isn't helping.
Just wait till early next week.
Oh yeah, I heard. It's gonna get down to the negatives. It'll be fun.
You'll manage.
Or
Well, it's supposed to get in the
neighborhood.
neighborhood. Well, we're gonna get negatives for 3 days, but do know that that's the temperature for all of January. I'm not kidding.
I know you're not. That's why I'm upset. Who told Minnesota it could be so cold?
It's Minnesota. That's kind of our thing. Okay, so that doesn't work with like that. But I can put this in the background. So some of these are just big old rocks. They're not looks unique.
Burger is kind of cute.
Grover?
Yeah, a little bit.
You mean the big penis?
They got penis for a head.
We went over this, Michael.
That's okay. Why you gotta
It's not his choice.
Why you gotta shame him like that?
Okay, and then there's some more in the background here.
Look at all those rocks.
It's just about filling the background. There will be spikes, but you know what? You know you've used the software a lot when you have a whole bunch of alcohol and you still have no problem figuring out what buttons to hit.
I mean, I'm impressed.
It's all muscle memory.
I know. I tried animating a little bit, and you make it look so easy, and then I realized how difficult it actually is, and it frustrated me. like, oh, if he can do it, then make it look easy, it must be easy. And then I went to do it, like, nothing looks right. Everything is awful.
I will admit, yes, I make it look easy.
Yes, you do. That comes from years of practice, I'm sure.
A little bit.
A little bit. So if I want something in animation, I just have to poke you and pester. But it never works, because otherwise there'd be lots of socks.
You also need one of these.
What's that? A checkbook?
Checkbook.
I guess I put socks on them. That's all I want.
Socks are $20.
What? Seriously? I give you $20. Socks on one of your videos.
No. To make the picture is one thing.
What?
$20 extra for the socks.
I just want one of your regular animations, but they're just wearing socks for no particular reason other than I gave you $20.
Are you not picky?
No, not picky.
You're gonna regret that.
Wait, what are you gonna put socks on? It better be cute. Look, I require a certain standard.
I asked, and you said no. There's no.
Don't put them on my car. That doesn't count. No. It got holes. You putting sock on that penis. It's like, that's $20.
Give me.
No. I refuse.
You just give me an exception. Look it. I gave you what you asked for.
This is bad.
I'm gonna warn everybody about commissions from you. This is how it works, isn't it?
Fair enough. I gotta make a whiskey.
I'll consider the booze the money.
Yes, wonderful. That is what I paid for. You're evil. This has been decided.
So I animated it.
It's amazing.
It's like an elephant.
He looks like he's suffering. It's so sad. Oh, I'm so sad now. Well, now he looks like he got like evil monster teeth. Grr.
Grr. Woof woof. Woof woof. Woof woof.
Ugh. You're like, I am Grogar. Do not treat me this way.
So, I gave him socks.
You did. I am, not disappointed, but at the same time, confused, maybe? Yes. Looks upset about this.
This model's name is Rock Dark 24 SG. What the fuck?
Why though? Like the modeler just did not care.
It's probably due to size. Yeah, that's why. Big, bigger, epic, small, smaller, what the fuck. So it's just the biggest size. Mega Pack. Mega Pack was created back before they had scaling within the software. So the only way to scale was that they would supply you with smaller, small, epic, bigger. They would give you different sizes of it in hopes that it would work better. Then when they added scaling, it just fills my library with junk now. But I've used different mixes of small and large that I can't just get rid of all of them because I don't know which ones I'm using.
Yeah.
When I get rid of all large. For instance, something I'm using at some point might have used large.
You want to try the peach?
Could
be good.
Nah, I'll just take a cider, actually.
Alright. I'm just gonna get a cider too. I'll take a glass. That's not the way I want it.
Thank you. I wanted this one. No. I don't know why I did that. I brought this one in for a purpose. In the show, they had kind of like a spike looking two different directions over here. One of them was fatter. This is to be the fatter spike. Perfect. I was hoping to grab a purple. I had a pink earlier.
That's also really good.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. I guess we'll connect them. Okay, I need to get this and that.
Are you gonna retexture them at all, or just kinda go with that?
So even this, he is at a, I think even still lower angle than this. I think that's actually more zoomed.
It does feel like it's closer in that shot than it is in yours.
I did a 50. Yeah, I mean, I can do an 85 like this.
Feels a little better, but it still feels like you're too far away.
But in terms of normal shots, this is a full shot. A full shot is normally no higher than a 50. No, even normally it would be a 35. Normally a full shot would be like this.
See, that feels right there.
But that's what a standard full shot would be. So I'm using a 50, which a 50 is normally the human vision version. So this is going to be a mid shot normally, and I'm doing a full shot for it. If I swap to something that feels closer, I mean, I can always move it closer, like that. But I feel like
the angle's off. I feel like it should be down more.
But like this?
No, down.
Oh, but that's
like that.
But then look at the background. Its horizon is about here, and now my horizon is down here. My horizon should be about here, and this is about where I had it. So it's because 2D can play with all his perspective bits. Yeah. The background doesn't match with where he's standing, which doesn't match with his face, which doesn't match with his stance. But it's close enough that you just kind of go, eh. So that's what it's going to fit with. The main thing is right now he's somewhere between the third and the mid. So that would be about here for him. He is also taking about even top and bottom space, which would be about here. But he's got more horn taking up that space than I have. So I'm going to take and give that space back a little bit and utilize more upper space. Because his face is sitting...
His face is pointing straight forward, and yours is kind of looking up.
Mainly because his eyes don't really work well for that. If I want to have him looking up, I have to then... If I want to drop his eyes down there, I have to...
I feel like the head position's better now.
But I have to move his eyes down to like there.
Yeah, it looks good.
But his eyes, his pupils in here are literal pinpricks.
Yeah. I think that actually looks good. Like right as you have it.
How about this?
That is beautiful. Super sexy.
I hope it is, because this is your fantasy right here.
This is what I dream of every night.
This is the penultimate of pony.
Yes. The suck. No.
Like suddenly, hot boy walk in, and you're like, "Oh boy!
Oh no!
Look at them socks!"
That's so sexy.
And then he sinks into the ocean,
No.
and you chase after him and have sexy time.
We won't have oxygen though. We need.
You don't need oxygen. You have love.
Oh, fair enough.
Love.
Love.
See.
Yes. You spin me right round, baby. Round, baby.
This is the love spin.
Oh my! I think I saw.
It is the mating dance of the Grogar people.
I think I saw.
Yes, that's what they call them.
I think I saw a Japanese documentary about this.
Oh.
I don't know.
It has escalated to phase 2.
Mating dance. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He is
intense.
He is
See, now I'm turned on.
What? Alright, so he might be a little excited.
He is clearly excited. Oh boy. Grogar is getting feisty.
Okay, he's tiring out a little bit.
Ugh.
Yes.
He's just wanting to take it a little slower, that's all.
He's moving into phase 3.
Yes.
The afterglow. Wait. Okay. Okay, he's excited.
Oh, they can tell. Look at his face. He's got an excited face.
There, no, he's excited.
No, it's not super excited.
Okay, hold on. I actually broke him. Let me fix him. Okay, Roadrunner's fixed.
There's not enough booze.
There's not enough booze
There's
for
just not enough
essentially
booze.
dancing goat. Is he a goat? What is he?
He's a ram.
The bell. Well, actually, no, he doesn't have a bell.
Isn't a ram just a male goat?
Probably not.
Probably.
I'm thinking that
like
no.
It is, but no.
No, I'm thinking a ram is a ram and a goat is a goat.
I feel like a goat male is a ram, and then like a female is a ewe. What?
Are you making fun of me?
No, not you personally. Like that is the name of a female goat.
I think you're just making things up now.
It might be. I'm pretty drunk.
I thought you were just talking shit.
Talking shit about goats.
No, about me.
Pretty good background you got there.
I haven't put the lights on it yet.
I just like the whole layout. It looks pretty good.
Okay, so I'm trying to do something with like that rock.
Are you gonna get like the big square thing?
Yeah. That I'm not sure on.
I feel like finding a square thing would be pretty easy.
Alright, we will take Michael's advice. Square thing. Sorry, we
Just
don't
try
have it. I don't have any of
square.
those. Square.
What we got in the realm of square?
Remember that this is what they name the models, so if they had a building, I don't think that they're going to name their tower square. You have to think of what would I name the model to be useful. If I find something, I'm going to be pissed. Nope, it's just literal, like, this signs that are square shaped. So, if I were to think about what is this, I would probably look for tower or chimney. And then if you're going down the list of desperation, I would probably go to like building.
Those aren't even towers. Those are helmets.
Bell tower. It's something based on that, and this just has a hard hat with a tower. That's not the right tower. Because some of these, like, if you search the word ground, you'll get a huge amount that come up for Left 4 Dead 2 for fairgrounds. Yeah, looking for fairgrounds, but it's just included in that group.
I'm trying to think if I remember anything in any of the Steam games that would look like that. I feel like there's got to be something. It seems super simple. I feel like maybe Portal had something? I don't know.
No, it's kind of an archaic, rustic looking thing. TF2 might, like something like this.
It's super simple, but at the same time, I'm not sure where it was ever used.
But it's also about balancing detail. So we put some very, very detailed rocks in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So now if I'm going to put a tower back there, I need to match that detail. So now I'm looking for something that's probably going to be of decent detail.
What was that? That feels like it could work if you had it upside down.
This is wood.
Yeah.
This would work better.
Upside down? Like, you wouldn't
No.
want the pointy bit.
No, this is what the pointy bit is right here.
Oh, you're right, yeah. No, that would really... that one would work even better.
This one?
Yeah.
No, because it's see-through.
Ooh, that was good.
No, it doesn't have a top. It's just a pillar.
Ooh. Oh, that one was pointy.
No, it wasn't.
Kinda. I mean, it's kinda pointy.
It's really, it doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be, I'm just looking for some kind of a tower thing. Having it close is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I like checking through everything just in case I have something that works. Spire is another. Nope.
It's all round. A lot of Eiffel Tower, that's surprising. These are all super detailed. Looks
Yeah, it's fine
World of
because
Warcraft.
I'm using fairly detailed things right now, so I can go up in detail. I just don't want to go down too much.
Hey, that Mega Man game, I actually like Legends.
I'm not using Mega Man.
I just like Legends. They never finished Legends. It always upset me. They the first one, the second one, and then the third one never got made. Hmm? Are they just the TF2 people, but
They just took the normal TF2 rock models and they just replaced everything.
That's dumb.
It is
Why'd
very
you
dumb.
do this, internet? Rock, oh my god.
You know one of my favorite models? Where is it? Yeah,
See
this
a
one.
doggo. The brick.
You know what the best part is?
What? Why? Why is there so many people who created this brick? There's Warhorse on there.
There is somebody that put on this. This was made by Stan.
Yeah.
And he just started inviting a whole shitload of people as a contributor for a fucking brick. And I'm like, sure!
It took a team, man.
So, one of the few things I made on here is a brick. So you got Bearded Doom Guy, Takio, Stan, Hellhound, which is, whatever. Hasbel, Eridic Core, Warhorse.
Yeah, it's all Warhorse.
But there was a comment that somebody put in here. 15 people made this item. 15 people made this. Seems legit.
Seems legit. Oh, it takes a lot of people to build a brick.
Stan has a good sense of humor when he does things right. And this is one. Who are these people? How are they related to this? Why the fuck did it take 15 people to make a brick?
That is pretty funny.
Oh
boy.
But yeah, it's just because he invited me to this. I'm like,
I just love how it's on a pedestal.
oh,
too.
loading a 3D model. Hold on.
It's an impressive brick.
It's kind of a low poly brick, but look at
Well,
those corners.
For a brick, though, that's actually pretty high poly. Like, you can get away with like 8 polys on a brick, but no, there's some.
But
detail
normally
in
when
that.
you make a brick, you're gonna be making a house. You take the same model of a brick and you used it 100 times. You're gonna fucking notice you're using the same brick 100 times. But that's what makes it great.
Yes.
Is he just exported a model of a brick. It's rated 4 out of 5 stars.
Hey, people are getting used to that brick, man. People are.
It's
like,
got 2
throwing
change
it at
notes.
heads.
Well, let's see what the change notes are. Changed by SFM. Oh, that was probably just system change. But discussion topic. Post your beautiful artwork here. Hold on, I want to see. Where's the brick?
It's hitting him in the face, I think. Or it's getting thrown through the window. That's the brick, I think.
Oh my god, it's the primary thing of that video. That's pretty cool.
Is he getting hit? He's getting smacked with the brick. The brick is very versatile.
Yeah, it's good. See, look, some people are making good use of this.
Good stuff. The only time I made a model was for Dex's statue. And hair.
No, I have a total of 5 workshop items. A brick, and then all these for I did for wallpaper engine.
I remember when you were really into wallpaper engine.
Yeah, it was literally for 3 days.
You were pretty hyped about it for those 3 days.
I haven't used it in a while. It was a resource hog. Okay, so, but other than tower, inspire.
Pillar? Pillar?
No, but you can make something from that. If you have a pillar and you have a good roof, as long as I have like a square type roof, I can make some. Oh,
It's a good roof.
it's not
It's
square,
not square though.
but I'm gonna load it. Let me keep looking. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm topping out on a RAM. I just upgraded from 16 to 32-bit, but SFM's like, I only know how to use 3400.
That is the problem with SFM.
I wish it had a cheat like you can do with processor. If you ever have a game that doesn't know how to use a single core, more than a single core, so if the game only knows how to use core 0, you go into the game after you open it and you disable core 0, and the processor defaults it to use the rest of the cores. And it lets you use all the rest. It's not as efficient, but when you have it go from 1 core to 7, doesn't mean shit. You're gonna make it. It's gonna be better.
I mean, I remember back in... There was an interesting part, and this might be interesting to Blur Blah, because he's probably too young to remember. There was a time where most processors only had a single core. And the
You can overclock the shit out of them, though.
Oh yeah, it got crazy. Like the Pentium 4 was like the end game.
Oh yeah, the dual core. I think it was a dual core, wasn't it?
It was the first. It was a single core, but it used hyper-threading, so it showed as 2 cores.
Oh okay.
And that was the pinnacle of single core processors. After the Pentium 4 Intel, they started going to dual core processors, and things started getting normal again. But I just remember I was in college at the time when the Pentium 4 was like the processor to have. And it was getting kind of crazy because video games were starting to outpace what the single core processors could do.
Well, they always work that way. You go back and forth.
Huh?
You go back and forth. That's how video games work.
Yeah. But like people were getting crazy with the Pentium 4 because they were still trying to figure out dual core processing. And like water cooling, I think that's really where it started taking off. Was because they were clocking some of the Pentium 4s at like close to 5 gigahertz, which you hardly see even today. But they were really trying to push these single core processors, and water cooling was almost becoming a standard for some of these processors because they ran so freaking hot.
I don't really hear about, like, overclocking nowadays is like you go from 4.2 to 4.6.
Yeah.
But back then it would be you'd go from like 2.2 to 5. It was stupid.
It was stupid.
Kroger, no!
And to keep them cool, it got crazy. I saw a friend of mine, he had a water cooling that ran the tubes throughout the entire case. Like, you see water cooling now, and it's just the one tube and the fan, and then it goes back. This guy had it running, like, circles around his case to cool down the water for how hot the processor got.
Well, there's the people that do the extreme overclocking are fascinating because they're people that do like they'll take a Intel i7 or i9, and they'll get it up to like 9 gigahertz. But they have like liquid nitrogen cooling it, and they're basically hanging on a thread of burnout and whatever, and they're not processing anything other than just zeros and ones of nothingness. But it's just people that are, it's the MLG of processors, but it is fascinating to see what they can do with that stuff.
I mean, I think that was a real interesting time, the Pentium 4. Just because people were really, like, just in general, people were really pushing those things to try to make them perform better.
Because until they had until they figured out how to properly use multiple processors or multiple cores, it didn't make sense. Now everything knows how to use multiple cores.
Yeah, everything multiple
except
cores
SFM.
now. Oh yeah, SFM just wants to do its thing.
It's archaic.
But yeah, video games were outpacing what processors were capable of for a little while before the multiple cores came along. So people were getting really creative with the Pentium 4s. As far as how to cool them, overclocking, like what you were saying, they don't overclock as much anymore because what's the point? The processors can deal with it without overclocking.
Well, no, overclocking is still an important part of the landscape, but I don't think it's as important as it used to be, because it used to be that there was you couldn't just add more cores, but we're getting to a point now that it used to be that you couldn't make things any smaller, is the processor was getting to a point where you couldn't get them any faster, so they started adding multiples of them and then just shrinking things. But now we're getting to the point where you're dealing with quantum physics, and you can't get any smaller. Yeah. Because if you get any smaller, electrons, in terms of uncertainty, are going to literally pop into existence in your next transistor over, and you're going to get errors. So the smaller and smaller you get, the more errors you have, and you can't prevent it. So that's where they're like, we're hitting the limit of what we can do with multi-core processors, and now we're having to move into quantum computing, because if the atoms are what's getting in our way, just make the atoms your processor. So... And Google's the one spearheading that right now.
Kind of missed the Pentium 4 days, just a little bit. Just because it almost felt like the high-end computers were the purview of only the extreme hobbyist. People who were willing to overclock and really willing to, like, look cool and stuff.
Okay, so in this shot, the light's coming from this side.
Mm-hmm.
Light's coming from this side. Light's coming from this side.
Oh, lights. I'm gonna use the restroom.
Stop abusing my toilet. No. It didn't ask for this. Don't piss into Alex Johnson. No. What was it? What was the Deus Ex guy's name? Alex, I think it was. Anyways. So this tower kind of works, but the thing I don't like about it is that there's almost too much detail on it. There's no top texture, that's fine for the angle. By having too much detail, it feels like you could hold attention. I'm definitely not using that light for final. Yeah, well, it's easier to overclock, but I feel like you can't... Because it used to be that if you wanted to overclock, you had to play with the BIOS and everything. Now there's software that does it for you, though if you want to optimize your overclock, you still have to play with the BIOS. Well, it's easier to overclock. I feel like things are less overclockable. It used to be that you could like double the speed for stuff, but now you can't really double it. But each incremental change is just bigger and more important now. The RAM I got actually has it. My motherboard can handle up to like I think 3400 megahertz RAM or something, but the RAM defaults to like 2400. So I can actually I can overclock my RAM if I wanted to, but
Why?
Yeah, mainly because of the M.2. Like, my M.2 is as fast as my RAM. So, it's more of, anything I do at overclock is just going to lower the life of that item. And if I felt that my RAM was a problem, sure, but it's not the case. Everything right now is graphics. It's your GPU that's holding you back, and the problem is that even GPUs that are super beefy are still holding you back because everything's still GPU focused.
I think this is the thing I miss about the Pentium 4 days is overclocking almost became a necessity towards the end, before they started rolling out the dual-core processors. Like, if you wanted to play a game, even at its, like, recommended settings, you almost had to overclock. Otherwise, you were going to get latency. The software was just outpacing the processors.
Why didn't you?
Of course, I was in college at the time, and that's when I was like paying the most attention.
Yeah, well, my first computer was a 4-core processor.
Your first computer?
Do know that I was a console gamer for like 20 years. My first computer I built like 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah. This is the first computer.
It was a AMD Black Edition, so it was an overclockable, and I did overclock it by like 0.5, I think, without even touching the
heatsink.
No, without touching the voltage.
When you start touching the voltage, that's
the same computer. Nothing in it is the same from when I got it.
It's just the same case?
No.
Well, then how is it the same computer?
Because over time I've replaced parts, and it's gotten to the point now where there is nothing in there that is the original. But it is the same computer. Parts have connected all the way back into the original that I built, but nothing is the same anymore.
So nothing in here is...
No. But at some point or another, a part in there has touched a part that has touched a part that has touched a part that was in the original.
See, I don't do that. I always build it. When I'm building a computer, I start from scratch.
Nope. Every Black Friday, I just look and say, what's my bottleneck? It's just last Black Friday, I did my processor, which required that I did my motherboard, my RAM, and then I did the M.2. I did enough stuff then that it was like $1,200 I dropped. There's nothing I need to upgrade. The only thing I could potentially upgrade is my graphics card, but if I did that, I had to drop $1,000.
You're running the TI though, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to upgrade.
Yeah, that's why. It had to drop a shitload of money to get this much performance.
Yeah, the one I'm looking at is the 2070 Super, and it only does a little bit better, and that's like $500.
What are you running right now?
The R9 290.
Okay, yeah, I don't know those number schemes. If you're talking about AMD.
We're talking about AMD. It's old. We pointed out that Mitch's graphics processor is like twice as good as mine, and that one isn't even as good as yours. So I'm due for an upgrade. That PC is like 5 years old, and 5 years old in PC time is like it's an old man at this point.
Well, the graphics card I have in there now, I think, is 2 years old. But
it was pretty high then when you got it.
I feel like graphics cards are hitting their cap, and so now instead of it to get better performance is expensive, so they're trying to add features of like, hey, ray tracing, hey, this. So they added ray tracing, but then the performance went up very little. So then they just canceled the 1000 series. So then you couldn't even buy them anymore, and you had to buy the slightly more expensive one with the fancy features.
Yeah, I feel like the 1080 Ti is still in the top 10. So I don't think you need to upgrade.
I think it's going to be another probably 2 years before I touch it. The only way I could get an upgrade is if I put a second graphics card in of the same thing, but they don't make them anymore. If I did, I'd have to get a 20-something series, but then mixing two graphics cards is just not a smart idea. Yeah. And these graphics cards are so fucking beefy that I don't even have space in a full ATX for it.
Yeah, that's something I have to watch for when I build my computer is these graphics cards. It's the cooling. It's the fans that take up so much space. Like some of the old motherboards I was looking at had they had two PCI Express slots for graphics cards, but they were so close together that if you use one, you're not going to have access to the other. So some of the newer boards are better about spacing them out, but some of the older ones were bad about it.
The one thing that I read about originally when I got my card, and it ended up being true, was sag. It is such a heavy graphics card that's only held on two sides, at the one corner that's not starts sagging from the weight, and it has started sagging slightly from the weight of holding itself up. I've thought about getting like a fishing wire, just tied to the corner, tied to the top just to hold it up, but at this point I'm like,
as long as it doesn't...
As long as it stays plugged in.
Yeah.
But eventually you could say that it starts bending the actual motherboard, and you could start causing damage. But even then, I'm not too worried about it. At that, if it comes down to where that starts becoming an issue, I'll just get a new everything.
I think the one thing I want to avoid with my new PC, and it might not be completely avoidable, is water cooling. Because water cooling just seems like something's gonna break.
I don't like the idea of purposely putting water into my computer.
Yeah. It's noisier too. I think that's what bothers me about it. Those pumps have like a hum to them. No matter, I mean, you can get a fairly quiet pump, but it's still gonna have that sound the whole time. Well,
and I'm guessing it's not gonna always. The pump is running. It's like a fan and a pump. The reason I got the Noctuo was because I have the mic and stuff. I wanted a quieter fan, and the Noctuo is the quietest on the market.
Yeah,
and it's quiet.
No,
even when it's running on load, it's no louder than it is now. But I thought about replacing the other fans in there with the Noctuo fans, but the Noctuo fans are expensive for good reason. Yeah, I just some of the stuff. If you go, yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I like a quiet PC. The hum of a water cooling.
I replaced my power supply in there originally because that buzzed when it was under power sometimes.
Really?
And it was the previous one I had. I only replaced it like 2 months ago. 3 months ago? 3 months ago. Where's my card? Oh, I threw it in the trash. I had a gift card in there that came from just my rebate from my power supply. It was $20.
Don't give it to me. Don't throw it away. I'm about ready to buy stuff.
I already spent it. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you threw it away.
No, I put it on my Steam. And then I spent it on Halo.
I thought you just threw it away.
No,
I don't want that.
No, anytime I get those gift cards where there are a like Visa gift card where it's like, here's $20, but you can't spend more than $20. It has to be $20. If it's more than $20, you have to tell them it's $20, and you have to only spend $20. I just fucking put it on my Steam as a gift card, and then it's locked in $20. It's gone. I throw the card away, and I'll spend $20 in there eventually. Within 20 minutes of me putting it on there, I realized Halo was going to be coming out, and I bought Halo.
Yeah, we both got a Halo board. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I was playing it a little earlier today. I played it. I've been playing it like the last couple of days. I'm probably going to be playing it after here too.
I'm awful at it, but it's still fun.
Well, in terms of leveling, the benefit of winning is like.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of leveling is other than getting new armor pieces.
It gives a secondary benefit to doing something. Otherwise, like the old Halo stuff was, you either win or you lose, whatever. So that's why people mostly played ranked, because you at least had something to do with your rank, of like going up with your rank. And I did that with Halo 2. I played ranked a lot. Oh yeah, we jumped right into Heroic. We jumped right into Heroic, and we were playing with almost 1 second lag because of the person that was hosting. And just, I think the multiplayer is lagged. So we were playing with 1 second lag, and we were still just running right through it. Story for when I played Halo 3, I was in college at the time, and I got the helmet, which you can actually see up there. It's my Master Chief helmet. It's a legendary one. And I love that helmet. I think it's a super cool thing. And though I don't know where the game is actually. It's not in the helmet anymore. Whatever. But so we ended up, between some friends and the people that I played with in college, we played through Halo 3 to try to farm the achievements as fast as possible. So it took us about, I think, 2 weeks, and we got 1,000 on there. Like, all the achievements. Maybe not even 2 weeks, but we got it in a super quick amount of time. And when you get 1,000 on there, you got, and I can't remember exactly, but I know that I had the Marathon helmet, which was, Marathon was a game made before Halo by Bungie, and so it's kind of like a rounded helmet on the top. And you got the sword on your back, the katana. And we had that within the first 2 weeks. So we were basically, like, when we played multiplayer, we would play like 20 games and never find anybody wearing it. And so it was rare at that time. And so I was running around with it, and I had a couple recordings where somebody would kill me and then stop, turn around and go look at the body. And I had recordings of it because it was hilarious. They stopped looking at the body, and then they punched to move the corpse so that they could move it to see the sword on the back. And then you like see me come around from behind and kill them while they were looking at my body. So we super early on had that, which was pretty cool, but it was work to do that, because there was some stupid hard achievements in there, like getting all the skulls, beating on a legendary. To do that within the first couple of weeks was tough, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I was a huge Halo nerd for probably 4 or 5 years, between Halo 1 and Halo 2 especially. Halo 3 is when I started dying off because Bungie left. But
well, they stopped releasing it on the PC.
For
Halo 2.
I think they might have been partially involved with Reach, or they did Reach, but it wasn't. It was about after that Bungie left, and they split. And part of their team went to 343 Industries, which kept doing Halo and was owned by Microsoft, and the rest of the team left to do their own thing to make Destiny.
Yeah.
So, and that's about the time that I stopped paying attention.
I stopped paying attention after 2, just because that's when they stopped releasing it on the PC. That's all I remember.
But even their PC releases weren't that good. But I used to do Halo photography, so I had thousands of pictures that I took. I had a modded original Xbox, not 360, soft modded, that had a special software on there that you could play Halo 2, and all you had triple button controls. So while some of the game controls had like 2, like zoom and fire, that's a 2-button control. But there was 3, so like both analogs with A, and it would activate something else. And so it was a photo mode that I had, that is a mod that somebody made. So like there was a button sequence that you could hit that it would take a screenshot of what's on your screen, or you had another mode that it would zoom into the top third of that screen, and then the middle third and the right third, it would go down to do 9 pictures, and then you would use a stitching software, which at that time was still a fairly new thing. I had to download a advanced version from a college, and it would stitch the pictures together to make much bigger pictures. And I lost all of them because all the pictures I had were uploaded to a specific website that no longer exists. But that's where I learned all of my cinematography stuff. The stuff that I'm using in here and picture positioning, it was all because during that time I was researching cinematography, how you do pictures, how you position things, how you do coloring. I learned all of that then. So a lot of that I've utilized now from that knowledge. But I know I do still have I do still have some.
Yeah, stretching.
I don't have my Halo 2 pictures anymore, but I do have like when I was started in Halo 3. But Halo 3, the thing I didn't like about that was you had to utilize things within the engine. Well, in Halo 2, I had full control of the engine, so I could tell the engine to do whatever I wanted it to do. And you could say freeze time and then find exactly where you wanted in that shot, or turn off AI or something. You could do some really neat ones. That I think is actually Halo 2. Yeah, that's low poly. I think it's Halo 2. But I think like this one is like a super. No, this one I think was a Stitch.
Is that 2?
No, that's 3.
Really? Seems still pretty low poly, but comparing
Halo 3 is like,
modern
it was
day.
over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
This is a friend that took some of these. Like this one, this is an actual screenshot right from the game.
What?
Yeah. It was, the shield got in a really weird position. It was really cool.
Bizarre.
Here's a lot of them. So some of these are just lots of stuff. I used to just take a whole buttload of pictures and then just see what worked.
This makes me want to go play Halo.
This is one of my favorite right there. But
It's pretty nice. I'm gonna go turn on my computer.
I call it backflip, but he's actually dying. I just wish I would have had, or still had a lot of the pictures, but I lost them all. They're all on Fluver was a website, but it was like Demon something that all of it was uploaded to. But I lost it all, but I'm not angry. I learned a lot about modding, programming, and cinematography, which I've just utilized in the future, so it's never a loss. The shooting for the final mission, leg with a skull on it was hard. I think I remember that. Was that like you had to do something in a sequence? I remember something about having to do something in a sequence at the end of a map, towards the end. Oh wow, it's a 15-minute sword. But yeah, I'm gonna be done. Just since I have to use the bathroom. And I want to go play some Halo. It's so nostalgic playing Halo. Well, the thing is playing Reach, and I actually have a Reach 360. I don't have a. I had a 360 beforehand, but it was a launch box that lasted like way longer than I thought it would have without the Red Ring of Death. But I have a Reach box, but I haven't turned it on. I think. Well, no, I turned it on like 2 weeks ago by accident, but. Other than that, I haven't turned that thing on forever. But it's still the original Reach box with the Reach controllers. So, Reach Special Edition. Yeah, I don't have the like special edition of the game. It was like a year after the game came out. I found one of the Xboxes for like $200 or something like that, and I just wanted to play it for something. Oh, I think I've got it for Reach. I don't think I've ever played anything else on it, so that was kind of an expensive purchase. But yeah, it's Reach was pretty fun, but I've never played Halo 4, 5, or any of the ones after that.
Same.
But eventually it'll, like, probably a year from now it'll come out on here and I can play it and then, like, probably still not care because it's not the same people that not the same people that made it. Anyways. So I'm good on here. So I'm going to be done. So, I will be streaming next Tuesday. Yeah, it took all the names, the normal things from Halo and then, like, added more to it. Or, like, added a whole other, like, enemy. I guess at that point you kind of have to reinvigorate things, or whatever. But no, I should be streaming next Tuesday. And Friday, I have a bunch of stuff going on Thursday, so I don't think anything's carrying over on Friday. So I think we're all good. So I should be streaming next Tuesday and Friday. Anyways, yeah. So whatever. Have a good weekend and stuff, I guess. Have a cat. He's on the ceiling. It's a scary cat. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.